G'day folks, welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3 and welcome back to Moonrise Towers and this very, very beautiful and pleasant room that we find ourselves in, apparently belonging to some guy called Balthazar, and that we're supposed to try and look for. So we're going to obviously try to do that, but I am kind of curious about this secret door. This is very obviously a secret door of some kind. There's also something with the ancient altar here, which at the moment I can't really figure out what might be the thing that we need to insert into it. Presumably, maybe it's something that Balthazar keeps on his person, and therefore, you know, we would need to find Balthazar and then, you know, pop whatever it is in there. And then maybe that's the only thing that will sort of open the door. I did try to, you know, activate all three, you know, statues here, but I didn't really find any success doing that. So I think it's time to move on. And
light on my feet.
Hang on. This clasped book. Did we take a look at that? The previous episode? I'm not entirely sure. Let me just have a quick look. This is a log on the work of one of Balthazar's necromancers, Cressa Bone Daughter, dated 210 days ago. After the state the Fallen One was in, I never expected Cressa would be able to save it. I was hoping the usurped thing would die. That's what it would have wanted. It's not as if Cressa studying it is going to prove much. It was damaged in the attack far beyond what the mer tadpole could do, but she seems fond of the of the foul creature. Let her play with it. Another entry seems to be written in this log dated a 10-day later. I should not have, in hindsight, let Cressa keep her pet. Even since it was shipped onto one of the Nautiloids to be deployed, she has been inconsolable. It won't survive out there. It needs me. It isn't like the others. The feral thing will make a fine warrior for the Absolute, and now my best assistant is distracted thinking about it. Bah, she will come to heel again soon enough. Cressa Bone Daughter. And they were talking about some kind of a pet or an animal of some kinds. I wonder if it has something to do with the gnolls downstairs. Anyway, I think it's time for us to leave this place. The other thing that I'm not entirely sure of is the moon lantern. So, of course, I do know about the pixies and stuff with the moon lanterns, and, you know, we succeeded that check. So, but I don't really see any way for us to do much in the Shadowlands without using a moon lantern. So, I don't know. I'm kind of curious, so you guys can let me know, perhaps maybe without being too spoilery, but is there actually a way for us to even traverse the darkness without having picked up the moon lantern? Not sure. Perhaps maybe we could defeat like Ketheric or whatever, and then that could lift the curse. Who knows? But I'm really keen on getting out there before we actually, you know, go and see Ketheric, obviously. There's the matter of, you know, stuff going on out this way, and potentially another way up the tower, but I'm not interested. For now, I think we'll make our way back down, and we'll see if we can make use of this moon lantern, despite my, my hesitations. So there is also one other thing that we need to do before we, you know, make enemies with the entire crowd here, which is to bring Astarion to speak to one of the traders, so she had some kind of a deal or whatever for him, so I am kind of...
You know, I've been catching myself
interested in that. These giant doors make it a little bit difficult to traverse. Alright, so there is a dock area, right, that we saw in the previous episode. Was it the previous one or maybe the one before that? And there was a section where we could essentially jump our way across and then back into the darkness, right? So I'm curious to go through that area to see what we can find, and, you know, perhaps maybe that'll give us a bit of a taste of what this moon lantern does for us. So someone's going to need to carry it, preferably someone who doesn't need to use both hands to wield their weapons. So maybe Shadowheart or Will. Perhaps maybe Will can take it. Let me just transfer it over. Yeah, so apparently it's a type of weapon as well. Actually, no, I was sort of thinking of putting it in the shield slot, but I guess that's not even possible. Alright, he's gonna have to carry it like that, perhaps. Which is not ideal. But perhaps maybe we can try and keep him in the back and try to spellcast and all that sort of stuff a little bit more. Definitely would have preferred Failure Aluve, but anyway. Yeah, there it is. In action.
2 steps at a time. Let's move. On my way.
Is it better to lead with someone who has the lantern? I don't know. I suppose the area of effect is quite wide though, right? So it's not too bad. I'll just cast light on us as well. I'll send that to Karlach. Sharon's Psalm. Let's have a read. Psalm the Last. Mistress Shar spread putrid flesh across the table before me. Eat of my bounty, she urged. She pressed her bitter mouth to my ear and her clawed hand to my loin. Take your pleasure, she whispered. Her tongue dripped poison into my mouth. Be quenched, she cried. The harpers near victory, our fates are writ. Dark goddess, we partake as you charged. On this great breast's flesh let us feast. Our loins and lips let us ravish. Of this poison let us drink. If darkness we must know, let us be gorged as it takes us. And we can pick it up. Also, guys, just before I hit the record button, I did actually get a notification of the quest for Shadowheart having updated, so I just want to have a quick look at what that means. The Chosen of Shar. We discovered that Shadowheart possesses a certain amount of resistance to the ill effects of the Shadow Curse. It seems that this must be due to Shar's patronage, but given the mercurial nature of the Dark Goddess, the extent of her protection remains to be seen. Cultists were trying to find an ancient temple, but the bridge has been destroyed. If we find another way in... Yeah, okay, so we're still sort of following on that path. Gripped with intense pain for her wound on many occasions now, this could prove to become a liability if we cannot help her. Do we have a chat with her about it, perhaps?
No time to rest.
Well, my day just improved. Did you want something?
Your wound is causing you too much pain, Shadowheart. There must be a way to heal it.
Pain is the gauntlet that all who love Lady Shah must endure. Only her embrace can truly heal me. To try and salve myself would do nothing but shame me in the Nightsingers' eyes.
What if your wound pains you at the wrong moment? It could cost us dearly. Yeah, let's try. Oh! Okay. Our rolls have been pretty horrid recently. Well, this is our last inspiration. I guess we should try again. Okay, good.
Perhaps you're right. But there's little we can do about it just now. Maybe a way will present itself in time if Lady Shah wills it.
So, I'm not entirely sure what I get out of that successful check there. Maybe a bit of approval or something from Shadowheart, since we're, you know, showing that we care and all. But, you know, I'm, excuse me, I'm feeling like that wasn't really worth the one inspiration that we had remaining. And we have no more inspiration, which means things are going to be challenging from here on out, especially if we've got checks to succeed. Conversation checks, that is. Alright, so let me just double check here. It doesn't say that she's got any condition or anything like that as a result of the wound.
No traps, please.
Yeah, I wonder why the conversation is coming up now. We didn't really see any cutscenes or anything like that to do with her wound, like we did while we were, you know, still dealing with the goblins back in Act 1. Alright, let's move on. I think this probably connects to an even larger area. We might be able to jump across over there. We'll check that out. Heavy oak doors leading to... don't know what we'll find in there. There's a visage of regret, apparently, and we can talk to it. So that'd be kind of interesting. And we have been ambushed a few times through, you know, some of the thick bushes and stuff, so I'm trying to keep an eye out on situations like that.
Dark justiciars who fell long ago in service of Shah and Ketheric Thorm.
What is going on here? Oh, is this where... yeah, I think this is where we had that fight to save one of the tieflings. Yeah, very big structure. I don't know if I want to go in straight away. There's so much stuff to do on the outside, and I believe this structure is also accessible from the other side as well, right? So we can always come back into the structure later. don't think we really need to jump across. We could probably just go around the chasm.
What's that?
Some thicker shrubbery here, so I'm getting a little bit nervous about being ambushed again. Something going on here. And it almost looks like some kind of a distillery. Yeah, the Waning Moon. We do need to go to the Waning Moon to recover... what was it? I think it was like a ledger or something like that. Yeah, okay, so this entire building over here is probably the Waning Moon. Alright. Oh, before I forget, guys, let me just take a look at our Illithid powers, and let's see if there's anything that we want to take. I'm just not sure when some of these get unlocked. Probably, maybe as we level up. Or do we need to take more of the other powers before we can even reach any of them? I don't know. I mean, these seem grayed out purely because I haven't taken Psionic Overload, perhaps. Stage Fright. Disadvantage on attack rolls, take 2 to 12 psychic damage each time they miss. Ability Drain. Once per turn, when you make an attack roll, the attack reduces the target's corresponding ability by 1. The reduced ability score cannot be decreased lower than 1. The ability that is reduced is the same as the one used to make the attack roll. For melee weapons, this is usually Strength, Dex, and spellcasting ability for spells. Alright. I don't know what would be better. I mean, if we give enemies disadvantage, they're more likely to miss and therefore suffer the psychic damage. That doesn't sound too bad. I don't know. I don't know if I should be saving these or spending them. Actually, I might put that question to you guys, because I'm really not entirely sure. I'm sure I'll find more tadpoles, but I'm not sure if I'll need to save them for some, you know, like really, really good abilities down the line, so to speak. And I'd prefer to be able to understand whether or not some of those, you know, some of those options become available later, you know, as we level up the character itself, or do I actually need to invest in tadpole abilities before I can even get there? So yeah, if you guys can enlighten me on that, that'd be great. But for the meantime, let's continue exploring. Yeah, so I'm not forgetting. I'm just a bit weary of our options. Are tin plates worth anything? No, just the 1 gold.
Don't mind if I do.
Alright, so there's no real way to get through from here. We're going to have to go into the inn. I do see a few interesting things here. I'm not entirely sure if they're hostile One of them seems drunk. And judging by what it is, it seems like an ogre of some sort, and you know, an ogre generally means that they're part of the absolute cult, but I could be wrong. I wonder if there's a better way, or another way in. Or perhaps maybe I should explore the outside first. I specifically didn't go into the other building because I wanted to just check out everything going on the outside. Why? Why is Quoth back there? I mean, Quoth usually doesn't get stuck.
Well,
I'm just going to resummon it over here. Probably need Long Strider. Yeah, okay. I'm feeling a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit unfortunate with Quoth that I can't really use it to scout around without, you know, having the lantern nearby. I almost wonder, perhaps, whether or not if you really didn't want to use the lantern, you would sort of make some very strategic, like planned, like moves to try and get to safety. Because a lot of these areas seem to be a little bit more lit up. I really don't know if you would be affected without using the lantern while you're indoors.
cursed to put my hand.
That sign above. This must be a brewery or distillery.
We should drop in for a quick sip. For research, of course.
I mean, we'll do that in a second. Oh. Oh. So these guys actually talk as well. So perhaps maybe we can speak to them. They do appear a little...
Rascal, brown puppy, Jagoda, black and white cat, Zola. That's a lot of missing pets.
Yeah, you can even see the posters in a little bit more detail there. I was just gonna say, yeah, they do look a little ghastly though, but perhaps maybe they're not hostile.
What's that?
So I'm getting just some very slight differences between the way the game used to play before. Has there always been like an indication on the mini-map when you succeed a survival check? And does it always like tell you where the thing is? I mean, you can always see it visually, but sometimes, you know, you might be looking elsewhere. And I just saw a ping on the map there. I didn't think that that was there before, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was, and I just didn't realize.
More for me.
Okay, so that goes in, and then goes back out again. Ooh. Big batch of supplies there. Are pitchforks worth anything? A little bit. Salts of Musk Creeper. I think I'll look around here, and then once we're done with the... Let's call this like the town square almost. I think we'll go back to the waning moon, and we'll see what's going on in there. So... is this the... no, that wouldn't have been the pathway that we took when we were part of the caravan. Yeah, okay, so we just went through that way. So, plenty more to explore. Just trying not to get caught off guard. Okay, the braziers don't stay lit. Probably...
The psionic detector. Githyanki are lurking nearby.
ooh. Githyanki. I don't see them hidden away anywhere, though. Maybe in the building? Okay, these guys are simply hostile. I want to maybe backtrack that way. We'll eventually get there, don't worry.
Rythwin House of Healing. Presiding Surgeon, Malus Thorm.
House of Healing. Okay, then this is a way inside, which I again suspect... oh, hang on. Creepy. I was gonna say, perhaps maybe the Gith are in here, but maybe not. So where would the Gith be if we get a ping about them? Ooh, hang on. Let's hold up a little bit. How many are there? 1, 2, 3. I think I count like 4. I don't know if they'll call reinforcements or anything along those lines. I think the real problem here for us as well is us needing to stick together to not get shadow cursed, right? I'm gonna maybe do that. Okay. You know, I haven't really been quick saving quite a lot, have I? So makes me a little bit nervous now. What the... Oh, I did not realize that there are additional enemies here, these shadows. Okay. Could be a problem. Let's move Blue back. And I really want these guys to have to go through the spikes where possible. I don't think the shadows are going to be affected by the spikes, though. Yeah, ineffective against them. Ew. And we won't be able to see these guys. Well, I guess they have to appear to attack us, I assume. Oh, I do want to say, guys, that I have read a lot of the comments about, what was it, Spirit Guardians, I think? And that I misunderstood the damage that happened in that particular battle where we had, like, digestive juices or something like that covered on a lot of our companions. So the damage was from that and not the Spirit Guardians, so, yeah. Just acknowledging that, and I will try it again. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Beacon of Hope. Or do I do something like Spiritual Weapon? Or Magic Weapon? Could be good because none of our guys are really injured at the moment. Maybe I should save a level 3 spell slot for something else if we're really not needing it just yet. Could even do Bless. I think we'll do Spiritual Weapon because this is not a, it's not something that needs concentration. So I can just simply cast it. These guys would be susceptible to all types of melee damage. I'm just not entirely sure of the shadows, though. Bludgeoning, resistance, piercing. They're not... Like, they're a little bit resistant to it, but not that much. So we could still probably use the spiritual weapon, or sorry, the magic weapon to our advantage. Or sorry, spiritual weapon. I keep mixing these two up a little bit. So let's do... I don't know. We'll just do a greatsword. And at least it can be fodder as well, if it needs to be. Can I do... Yeah, we can't move too far away from the party. That's a real problem. Path is interrupted. Yeah, I think perhaps maybe it's better to do something like Bless. We'll get it for 10 turns, and then if we need to switch to Beacon of Hope, we can. I think that's a better option. Yeah, let's do that. And we can Bless... us three. And let's bring Shadowheart back here. Again, I want all of these guys to be going through the thorns. Quoth. Probably not going to be so useful right now. Let's
Battle favors the fearless.
not worry about Quoth just yet. Haste. I'm thinking, yes, we do haste immediately for blue. Just trying to see if might be an opportunity for us to use Fireball, but maybe not. And he's going to have to keep holding the lantern for the time being, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Yeah, let's do haste. And brand the weak would be good. We may as well go with the slashing. But it appears that I might actually need to touch the enemy to use that. So maybe we'll hold our horses on that one. And let's move back a tiny little bit.
Gods, it's hot in here.
I don't think I can really do too much with Karlach right now. But I can maybe build some Wrath. Oh, the icon has changed as well for Shockwave, which I think used to be a purple icon. So again, probably the game update has come through recently, changing that. Branding Smite. Possibly marks your target with light, preventing it from turning invisible. Yeah, okay. I need to maybe use that on a shadow when we get the chance. Alright, I tell you what. I think because I can't really do too much, I'm probably going to do dash. Unless we want to try and get a shot in. Oh, yep. We can get a single shot in at the very least. Maybe I could even do brace. Arcane ammunition. Good. Great. And I think that's it, right? Don't really have any more resources. Let's just duck back this way. I wonder if the spiritual weapon can be affected by the shadow curse. I'm not sure about that, actually. Oh my god. Alright, I was not... I was not banking on there being a pathway up this way. Ugh. Alright. All good, all good. I think we still have a pretty decent opportunity to ensnare these guys. Well, not really ensnare, but still use the spike growth. I'll leave Ursa over here. She might need to tank some attacks from some of those shadows. I'm gonna test out whether or not the sword will take damage out in the open. It doesn't look like it, although I don't know how far the range is on the lantern. Okay, so since blue goes again, I think it's appropriate for us to do like do we do that maybe? I'm just trying to cover off all of the traversable sections. I think that would do it, because if I moved it here, for instance, I think there might be still some gaps. Oh, hang on. Maybe I just need a good angle. Yeah, maybe something like this. Preferably if I get both of them in. We were guaranteed a little bit of damage for both of them. Yeah, good. And this one doesn't really have a lot of HP at all. Nice. And let's move blue back here. Still going to try and stay within the range of the moon lantern. Actually, let me leave him there without ending his turn, because we might need to follow after Will, depending on where he moves. Oh no, I do need to end my turn now though. Yeah, in that case, I'll maybe get a little bit closer to Will. Wow. So, hang on. Can they just indefinitely go and hide themselves? Do I always need see invisibility on one person? Because that will be a bit of a problem for us. I wonder if I need to do like an AoE attack here, or if I can do an AoE attack, whether or not I'd be able to inflict some damage on the shadow. Possibly. Let me do this. I could summon... I assume this is some kind of a summon. We'll take up a level 4. We want to use a level 4 for something else. Such as Stone Skin or freedom of movement. Let's try this. Alright, let's move back this way. Both, let's get you out of danger, maybe down this way.
The blade will not bend.
Will. Now this is where things start getting a little tricky because we need him to protect everyone else.
Making my move.
Too dark. Interrupted. A sphere that deals 3 to 24 damage possibly creates a surface on impact. Okay, so this dictates the surface in question. I don't know what these shadows are weak against, actually. Radiant. So... it's not really an option. And they're largely resistant to everything else. Troublesome. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. And we get Radiating Orb. It's not bad. Let's maybe... I could do Brand the Weak. I think these guys may end up dying just from being in the roots. Or in the spikes. So let's just come a bit closer. So yeah, we got rid of the Shadow Curse there. No longer Shadow Cursed here as well, so that's good. Yeah, I didn't consider all of this, you know, when we were traversing this area, but it essentially limits the movement of the party to an area where the Shadow Curse is being pushed back. I think I'm okay with Shadowheart staying where she is. Maybe a little bit further back.
What's this?
I wonder if I can get some hits off on this shadow. Path is interrupted. Maybe just there. No.
Moving.
There we go. Okay, but we are shadow cursed, unfortunately. We can move back a little bit once we've taken our actions, though. So let's do it. Yeah, and I think I'll use Legacy of Avernus here as well. Nice. And I might even be able to kill here. Nice. Okay, let's move back. Right, end our turn there. Okay, these guys, you know, surprisingly, getting very smart about their positioning. Not enough movement. Yeah, that really sucks. I think I'll be able to just block this spot off. That way this guy can't really try and get in without taking opportunity attacks. Maybe it will even stop to attack the sword. And I don't mind that. And yeah, we should be able to get Ursa in for some honeyed paws. And I don't mind her taking the Shadow Curse, since we can simply respawn her anyway. Very good. So they're going to have to pick up the weapon in the next action anyway. Dash. Okay. Maybe, but I mean, we'll have to take an opportunity attack though. Yeah, why not? Disengage. Okay, can't really move too far anyway. Yeah, she's taking a little bit of damage from the curse there. Alright, so no more enemies on this side. I could get Blue to do yet another spike growth over on this side, but I think maybe that's not required. With this one almost dead, we're only down to the one, so I think there's not really going to be much of a benefit placing down the trap, considering those shadows don't take damage from it. So let's do Hunter's Mark on that guy. So let's maybe just get in close. There. Brilliant. And maybe I do need to just...
These boots have seen everything.
Get an angle here. Still interrupted. Damn. Ah, there. Nice. Bring myself back. Oh, wow. Okay, that was unintentional, but welcome. One more. Nice. Okay. So we still have, what is it? Just the one more shadow remaining. I don't know if I really needed the Guardian of Faith, but maybe it was overkill. Alright, what can Shadowheart do? Maybe... Look, roughly it's in this area. I don't know if this is really a good strategy or not, but I could always just blind fire in this direction. Or I could spawn some good berries for someone to consume. That could also be decent. Yeah, the problem with the Scorching Ray is that I know that it has quite a resistance against it, but at least we can sort of cast a few of them. Yeah, okay, right, that's not really effective. Maybe it was here? Could be. How many spiritual weapons can one cast? Is it only the one? Might do Sanctuary on Ursa. Actually, I can bring Ursa over here just to get rid of the curse.
Let's end this. Need to act fast.
Let's bring Will up this way.
Finding my way.
All within are silenced and immune to thunder. Yeah, I really don't know if I can affect this thing using AoE or not. I don't think I have anything that'll give me Radiant, though. I could do that, for instance. Maybe we might be able to reveal where it is. That will consume the spell slot. I guess it's okay. I don't mind doing that. Let's give it a try. Maybe it's around here somewhere. No? Okay. Maybe it's moved completely.
Let's finish this.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, I mean, we would have hurt the shadow already if if it's around this area, right? So I don't think there's really any point in us jumping there using the shockwave. Yeah, I need to have a target. Bull rush. I could try to do that, but again, don't know where this thing is.
No holding back.
It feels like a bit of a waste, but I guess just so that we don't waste too much during this turn. I'm gonna do a dash, build up some wrath. I mean, I don't really need to build that much wrath because we're likely going to be ending the battle soon anyway, but anyway. Oh, so the Guardian of Faith, does that just move on its own? I get the feeling perhaps maybe that's the case.
Don't waste a step.
Yeah, I could use some ammunition or something like that. Hang on. Perhaps I need Will in there to sort of reveal the enemy. Maybe.
All right then.
Fiat Lux!
Anyway, I'm gonna end my turn here. I know it's a waste, but that's fine. So it's around here somewhere.
Have to keep going.
I mean, I don't really know if this does anything. Okay, good stuff. Guardian of Faith doesn't
Moving ahead.
disappear, apparently. Does it just stay here? Interesting. Alright, well, there's going to be a lot of looting to do. I certainly do not want to attract any more enemies, but let's take a look at what these things have.
You feel a rush of outrage. This woman worshipped Shah to the end, so why does the Nightsingers' curse not spare her?
Please, help.
Oh, okay, it does disappear
An older
after a while.
man turns his head away in shame. His neighbors would not renounce Selûne. Now they hang in the town square.
Yeah, we'll take that. And there are more bodies over here as well, but
Shown in Selûnite armor. Is there any god that turncoat hasn't bowed to?
That might be worth a look. Was that a click I heard? There's something about these plaques.
oh, okay. Addy. Oh, okay. Right, another puzzle to try and solve. We'll figure that out when we come back in the next episode. I'm just going to do the looting for now. And yeah, I reckon we're going to be calling it an episode here. Not too bad, but...
You see a man drain his tankard in an inn as he listens to a flaming fist play the lute. He's better than his uniform might suggest.
Yeah, so far the...
Catch a glimpse of the lute playing flaming fist. It's the catatonic man you encountered in Last Light Inn.
Yeah, there's this one here that we need to loot. But I'm sure we'll get to it naturally as we're exploring the area, so let's not worry about it for now. I think this is where we'll call the episode. When we come back, just gonna have a play around with the plaques. I don't know if we'll be able to solve the puzzle immediately. Perhaps maybe there are some other clues elsewhere that we might need to bring back here to then solve it. But yeah, we'll obviously cross that in due course. Thanks for watching, guys. Drop me a like if you enjoyed it. Stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one.